Hi, Rene Bastarache here. This is a forensic case of a woman who was struck by a foreign object right through her windshield while driving. She had no idea what happened, but through our hypnosis session we were able to reveal some remarkable evidence. You'll learn all the techniques I used and more in our Hypnosis Forensic Certification course. So let's get started on this investigation. This lady came into my office and she says, hi, she says, I had an accident on Route 4 where I was hit by a truck. Did you read about it in the paper? I said, no, I hadn't seen it. She goes, well, they were asking people in the newspaper to come forward because from what happened is she was hit by something that came through her windshield while she was driving on it's a major highway, Route 4. She was knocked out cold, went off the road, and nobody knows what happened. So they were asking people to come forward to see if there was any clue. So this was kind of interesting. She actually brought me the article to show me about, asking people to come forward. So we brought her into hypnosis, did the same old process. And I said, okay, I want you to go back to, in your mind, go all the way back to before the accident started. Okay, so let's go back to when you were leaving the house. What's going on? She goes, I'm going to pick up my son at school. She says, I'm backing out of the driveway. So this is kind of interesting. I'm having to do a play-by-play. Okay. I'm getting on the highway. She says, it's kind of sunny. So I'm getting my sunglasses, going to put my sunglasses on. So she's not right now. She's driving. That highway is about 45 miles an hour. So she's driving out 45 miles an hour, getting her sunglasses on. She goes, oops, I dropped my sunglasses. So sunglasses fumbled out of her hands and kind of went between the door and the left side of the car seat. So she says, I'm reaching down to get my glasses. She says, I looked away for a second. And she says, now I'm going to look forward. Ow. Right there. I said, okay, freeze. I want you to go back a couple frames. This is a technique called, I'm getting ahead of myself, the remote control technique. I'll tell you about it in a minute. So she went back a couple frames before the ow and just said, okay, so you're kind of looking. I want you to go frame by frame. We went frame by frame. I said, what are you seeing? She says, nothing, nothing. She says, oh, I see a big truck coming. So she's going this way. A truck's coming towards her. I says, what does it look like? She goes, it's a Mack truck. I said, how do you know that? She goes, oh, my husband's a truck buff, and he told me that the Mack trucks have square fenders and a square hood, which I didn't know. So let's just say it was a Mack truck. Okay, so it was a black Mack truck. She goes, and I could see the driver. So it's interesting. As she went forward, before any ouch, she says, she could see the truck clearly. Black Mack truck, the driver had a crew cut. Looked like he had a dark tan, kind of like the road workers there that are directing traffic all summer long. They get a good tan from being in the sun all the time. She goes, he has glasses, a dark tan. She says, and he's looking behind, almost like he's looking behind his truck to see as if something's fallen off his truck. I go, that's interesting. What's the license number? She goes, I can't see it. So again, we use the remote control. I want you to zoom up on the license plate. She gave me most of the numbers, but not all of them. Then she said on the, I guess that would be the passenger door, the side near her, she goes, there is some lettering. I can't read the lettering, but it's a black truck with lime green lettering. Okay, so that's pretty distinctive. And a kind of like a semicircle type, so like the name of the truck kind of written in an arch. She says that's all she could see from that. I said, okay, now I want you to go ahead a frame again. And she goes, something is flying off the back of the truck. And which is probably why the guy was looking at the truck. So I had it going frame by frame. She says, something came through my window. We found out later on that a rock actually came through her window, hit her in the head and knocked her out cold. So once we got pretty much everything we can, I took her out of hypnosis and she says, I know that truck. I said, what do you mean? She goes, we have a sand pit behind the house and the trucks with the lime green lettering are constantly going in the sand pit to get loads of gravel to go wherever they're going. So now she had information that she can go back to whoever's doing the investigation, tell her what they found. Again, it's not admissible in court, but if she tells them, I believe it was a black Mack truck going in the gravel quarry behind the house, getting gravel, going down the street at a certain time, because these trucks got to keep records as to how many loads they make and what time they make them. Describe the driver and give them most of the license plate and everything fits, there's probably a good chance something can happen. Okay, so you can see where that can be very helpful, but you're really not doing it for the sake of solving the crime or, you know, giving it to the police. You're doing it to help the client so they can have some form of closure. And again, once she understood this, knew what it was, she had that. She knew what happened. She felt good herself. She felt satisfied, like she had some kind of closure to it. And of course, those are the satisfying things, you know, for us hypnotists to be able to say that as well.